You were so nervous.
All right, guys. So, good evening, everyone. This is West African time, 6:03 p.m., and we're so sorry we kept you 2 minutes waiting. So amazing to have Blessing Akpan here with us, and few minutes before now. So, guys, let me just see people. Few minutes before now, my heart was actually out of my body because I was really scared that network was going to mess us up. So I tried to check other options, and we are so grateful for what technology can do, right? So I'm happy that we're able to get to this point, and so happy to see you, Blessing. And
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm hopeful that this opportunity to see you and talk to you for the first time too. I've been seeing your really amazing stuff online, and I was like, "Ha, you shall say, person no go send we give this girl one of these days," or or like they say in the Nigerian palace, make she come cut soup for me. So, what what you've been doing have been amazing, and this opportunity is actually to showcase your learning processes to people who want to know what you have been up against. So I'll just hand up, so you tell us more about yourself, beginning with the first question. Let's meet you.
Okay, thank you so much, David, for having me. I am delighted, super excited to be here. My name is Blessing Akpan. I am a 300 level student, University of Rio. I'm studying English education, and I am an educator and founder of the Innovative Child Network, a nonprofit organization leveraging mentorship and training to promote skill-based learning among our students in primary and secondary schools. And I am a believer of digital learning, of technology education, because I believe that that's the future of education, where our classrooms is transformed digitally and help kids to learn about the
Mm.
21st century skills. So I've led a couple of communities locally and internationally, and I wouldn't waste time to list all of them. But basically, I am a technology coach, educator, and a social entrepreneur. Thank you.
Okay, I see. What you've achieved over the span of, let's say, 3 to 5 years. This is what a lot of young people want to actually pray to achieve when they are maybe uh, 30, 35. They think is something for like really older people. But it's so amazing to meet you with those pages. So, what drew you into teaching? And what are your greatest lessons and results so far? We know what teaching is like in a country like Nigeria. I have been a teacher before. I think I made an update on LinkedIn a few minutes ago. I taught in Nasarawa State, civic education, agriculture, history, and economics. Yeah. And to be honest, years back, years back when I was doing that, I love teaching, but you know that thing now. It's really crazy, and people would say the reward of a teacher is in heaven. And you see a lot of young people, if you ask them, would you want to be a teacher in Nigeria, in public school? I doubt if you call like 10, I doubt if the 10 of them would say yes. But to see someone just delve right into teaching, yeah, what studying? I beg Jesus.
Okay, so I believe that if someone wants something to change, wants a change in a particular area, he or she needs to be involved. You don't just sit back and cry and then throw tantrums. You want things to change, but then you've forgotten that people are the ones that will create the change, and that person
Mm,
is you. seeing you need to change, you want to change in that area, that person is you. So my passion for education, for teaching, actually started when I was in my primary school, when I discovered that there would have been something better, like something would have been done better. It was actually the way I received teaching myself, and also the way my teachers inspired me, from the way they teach, from the way they dress. I just I just wanted to be a teacher because of the inspiration. But the intentionality started when I was in my secondary school. I really, really wanted to be a teacher because at the point I felt like there were a lot of persons in this space, in the teaching space, who are just there maybe by accident, or they are just there because there's no other job, or they are just there and then they don't really understand their role. I actually give it to a lot of teachers who are really there because of they know what they are doing. But at that time, at that point, I felt like I saw a lot of people who were just there because maybe there was no other job. And then I was actually affected back then because I was someone who didn't really love talking a lot. And then I was this kind of reserved I was this reserved student. And then I had issues learning. My learning outcome was really slow. Like I was really, really a slow learner. But at the point when people, teachers, you have a lot of bright students, and then we just get to a point where, a lot of students are following, you just get on with it. You don't mind other students who are just slow learners and all of that. So all of those things really, really inspired me. And the fact that I saw some kids who had issues with getting educational materials and all of that. And I know there were teachers back then who even from the little money they used to get, they get books to students to help them to keep coming to school, to inspire them. So all of those things inspired me. The negative inspired me, the positive inspired me as well. So I wanted to be a teacher because I want to be involved in this change. I didn't just want to sit back and then keep talking, keep saying things. I wanted to be the one to go. I wanted to go into it and then inspire the change, and help children learn better, and then help children kind of mold learning to fit the needs of every child. I discovered that different children grow up from different environments, and they gain different knowledge, different developmental process, and this affects their learning. So that's why we have teachers who are really passionate, teachers who pay attention to understand their students. So all of those things sums up together inspired me to go into teaching. And then my greatest lesson, one of them, I would say that because you love something doesn't make that thing easy. You know, in this journey of being a teacher, it's hard. Like I tell people, it's hard to be a teacher. It's not easy. You go in the morning. Earlier this year, I served as a student teacher in a primary school in New York, and I saw things, teachers who go out of their way to help kids, and at the end of the day they get peanuts. And then students who come to school, and they will go back each day, it's as if they've not learned anything, and then it's left for a teacher to put in more effort to make the child come up, all of those things. And then I tell people that because you love something doesn't make it easy, but your ability to persist, your ability to go out of your way, your ability to keep holding on, even when all these unfavorable things happen, is actually what makes the difference. Because you love it doesn't make it easy. Teaching is not easy. So people that talk about their passion and experience and the love they have for it out there on social media, they'll talk about teaching as if you think it's easy. It's not easy. It's just our determination to hold on to what we love that is that actually makes it easy. And then my how do I call it? Success? Yeah, it's whenever I see a child who I have mentored and I have taught uh, behaving in a different way, um, having something to show forth, it makes me excited. Last year at the wake of the COVID-19, I myself and my organization transitioned online to help kids learn, and there were some children who could not express themselves. They were just like very, very shy. When you ask them to talk, some of them would stammer, some of them would hide their faces, behind the camera. But we gave them the opportunity, I think, through the Learning series, where some of them came online to host, facilitate coding sessions, programs. And although at first they felt, I knew they felt really, really shy and they stammered, but it boosted their confidence. When I asked them to do the second time, it wasn't that way. And when I see them these days, they really want to go out there. They really want to show what they love. That makes me happy. The other day, a parent texted me that she has seen a change in her daughter's life from all of the programs I've been running and the mentorship. And that's my excitement, is to leave every child better, is to help every child get from level A to level B to level C. So that's actually my joy.
Thanks so much. Is it your organization, the Innovative Child Network? I just saw a video of a girl dancing ballet. It was recorded on BBC.
Okay, yeah, we share that video. I think we saw it on this an organization that teaches kids dance. So there was a particular boy that stood out. Yeah, it's not a girl, it's a boy. So he dances ballet, yes. So yeah, I think in the part of Nigeria, ballet is just for girls, like for girls. So he just came out and distinguished himself. The children can do anything. It's not skills are not gender sensitive. So the boy had to learn, and it was really, really exciting. The boy is really doing well. So we had to share the video on our page as well.
I'm tempted to share that video here. I would love you to. I just tagged you to this interview so that people who are on your page should also look at it. So I'd love you to just check
Okay.
that tag. So while you do that, I'm just going to share my screen and then play that video. And then I
Okay.
hope when I'm done, then we'll come back to the discussion.
Yeah, definitely. That's okay.
Um, Let me see. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sure, I can see it.
Okay, I want to play.
Where I live, there are no male ballet dancers like me. When people see ballet, they think it's only for girls. They don't know that it's not only for girls. How I want them to see me is when I'm dancing, they know that the male ballet dancer. My name is Madume Sama Anthony. I dance ballet because I love dancing. Feelings that comes over me, it's like I'm dreaming. When my teacher told me that plenty people have seen my video, I was very, very happy. I look up to my coach, like teaching me when he's dancing. I feel very, very happy and teaching me that he's dancing.
For Anthony, I have identified that he is actually a very committed student. That right from day one, he has always been very, very time conscious. We're changing the narrative about the stereotype of ballet male dancers. Boys can actually do ballet, and they do very well because in ballet there's something called a pas de deux, where it's called a dance or two, where the male ballet dancer lifts the girl. Male ballet dancing is yet to stay, and it is not supposed to be for only females.
He never told me because I noticed things in him when he would be stretching his leg, his hands, all kind of nonsense in it. Whenever he's dancing, I feel happy, I have joy watching him dancing. This is my son, I can't believe this. My advice to parents is when they discover any talents in their children, they should follow it up and give their full support so that the child will go far with the talent. Every child is talented, but our problem is that we don't know how to discover the talents that our children have.
Wow, wow. So I think I'll just leave it like that. And I think the story of that boy reminds me of many years back when I was teaching. We had this man who came to the school and complained that the son is really stubborn and doesn't know anything, that his grades are horrific, terrible, and he's not proud of him. Then I had called the boy one day and I asked him a question. I said, "You don't like school?" He answered in the affirmative. He was so proud of saying, "Yes, Uncle, I don't like school." And I told him, "Okay, so what do you love doing?" Then he told me what he loves doing, and that was coupling. Like, if you give this boy a condemned tire, for instance, just come back like 2 weeks after, and you see what he's going to turn that tire into. I told him I had to say, okay, do you know that in your education you may not be able to know how much you are making if you don't know how to calculate numbers? Are you aware of that? He said yes. So if I give you 300,000 naira and I tell you to bring me 350 in 2 weeks, like, what is my profit and what is your profit? He was standing there staring at me. He didn't know what to say. And he now said, "Okay, okay, I'll try to study the numbers." I said, "No problem. What if you reach out to someone who doesn't understand your dialect, but the person understands English, and the person wants to pay you 3 times more than the person who understands your dialect? Would you say, 'Well, Gago, I don't understand English'? Will you say no to that opportunity, or you would want to engage him further in the English language or in just another language?" He said yes. Well, the money is there, the money is big, why not? I said, yeah. So you see, sometimes though you have this aversion for school, but you need a little bit of education to make sure that your talent scales. Even the boy we watched right now, if he did not know how to communicate, he would definitely have a problem telling people how talented he is. So I spent some time looking at your innovative child network, and I see how inclusive it has been, how I see pictures of you trying to show children what to press on the computer. I'm sure they ask tons and tons of questions, and you're always there. Patience, as you said, when you talked about being a nice teacher, was really, really important. And I see, I have my notes right here. And one of the things that stood out for me, one of the things that stood out for me was the fact that it's important to mold learning to fit children. Very, very, very important to mold learning to fit children. And that takes me to the third question. In terms of community development and engagement, you be international picking now. You don't travel, you don't travel go Qatar, travel go Dubai, travel go, whether in real life or in your dreams. I'm sure you have connections that are local connections, you have international connections, you have your friends outside the country. What are those indicators that works? Things you can actually look at that no matter where you are, this indicator work.
Okay, so community engagement and development is first individual and then a team. When I say a team, it's because in order for you to make impact locally and then internationally, you have to be able to work with a group of people. people in your community, and then people, of course, people outside. And then before you even get started, you have to ask yourself, what's the area I would like to focus on? Generally, we have what we call the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and it encompasses all the areas that that talks about that talks about development. Yeah, generally from education, from to gender equality, to reducing poverty, etc. Then we have like 17. So whatever whatever the solution to the problem in the community is, definitely falls within these 17 SDGs. So I would say that you have to first of all identify that and then work locally. And then work locally, you might not immediately start an organization, no. So people feel that before you can make impact, you have to start an organization. No, you can actually start by working with other people. Where you work, yeah, work with other people. So that's actually what we look at as far as you were making changes. It could be as simple as you're a teacher in your school, and then you go to school, and then you find out that there are students in your class who do not have sandals. They come to school every day barefooted. So all you have to do is, if you have the money, you just try to get them sandals. That alone could motivate a child to not stay back from school. And what you have done is basically contributing to the SDGs 4, which is quality education. And additionally, you could also come to school and realize that there are students who come to school and then they do not have books. And then instead of always shouting at them, instead of always screaming at them, if you have the money, you can actually get them the books. And then it will motivate them to keep coming to school and not stay back from school. That is another way of you contributing to the SDGs 4. Also, you are living in your community, and then you keep seeing abuses of girls either by parents or guardians or people extended family, or you see girls being led out to marriage, or you see girls not given their rights, or you see girls not being allowed to go to school, etc. And you go and talk. You go and talk with these people about it. Try to educate them. That's actually you contribute to the SDGs 4, which is SDGs 5, which is equality. So you talk about indicators in terms of locally and internationally. First of all, you work with your local community and try to solve problems. That is when you will definitely step up to the international stage. Because once you are able to solve your local problems, that's when you will be able to expand, get more hands, and subsequently you'll be able to climb up. And then climbing up, it means that your collaboration expands at every stage. Your collaboration expands. So recently, I am the curator for your Global Shepherds Hub, and this position alone has helped me to collaborate with other change makers across the world. When I started, I didn't have this connection, okay? But then the impact I make in my local community actually attracts people outside. Yeah, actually attracts other change makers to want to collaborate with me. And then social media also is an amplifier. So when you work and you put your work out there, it also amplifies your work. It also shines the light on your work and the amazing things you are doing in your community. So before you actually go international, you first of all talk about the local. Because if you do not solve a problem in your local community, there is no way you'll be able to solve a problem in the international stage, because there are also people there trying to solve problems in their own community. So it's little by little, that's when you bring it together, and you will be able to make great impact. So talking about community development, the international bodies, they're looking for young people who are capable of solving local problems. So there's no two ways about it. You can't jump it. You can't jump it. You must be able to solve problems in your community first. And when I talk about community, it starts from your immediate environment, and then your state, your country, and then it gets to another state. So you can't actually jump it. So that's basically the indicator. When they see that you are doing something in your local community, that's when the growth starts.
I'm trying to put that right there on the screen so that people will see it bold and clear. The international community is looking for young people who are working on solving local problems. Blessing Akpan 2021. So, in terms of we have young people today are either not open to volunteering in communities, or they want to get rich quick. In fact, um, I have a targeted time I do spend online on social media, but sometimes like that was last week. I don't want to mention the name of the investment company, but a lot of persons were blasting them online and saying these guys are scamming a lot of young people. And you go to Instagram, you go to a lot of other networks, you see the desire of young people to make it quick, really. You show them an opportunity, you just share something really crucial, really critical, that they need to start working in their local communities in order to attract whatever international attention they are hoping to attract. But that is too much work for young people, for some young people today. They just give them puff puff or bread or akara. That is easy. They want to get rich pretty quick. So if you want to look at volunteering, you want to look at how difficult volunteering has become for some people, especially the young people, and how appealing getting rich quick is. It's important that you share some opportunities with us about investing and the need to invest in community development. Maybe this will change their mind.
Okay. Well, when you talk about getting rich quick and volunteering, I really don't know how both of them. I don't know how. I don't think they really relate.
Yeah.
Volunteering is basically someone giving their time, something they know
Mm.
they can never. When it comes to monetary, they can't get monetary reward out of it. So when you put in the get rich quick and volunteering, well, I don't know how they relate, but I would say that volunteering opens doors a lot. So let's just pause on the get rich quick for now and talk about okay, and talk about the fact that volunteering brings how do you call it, brings satisfaction. I don't know to others, but if you are genuinely out to volunteer, if you are genuinely out to solve problems in your community, there's this satisfaction you get knowing that you have contributed your quota to making sure that there is the narrative changes. And then secondly, volunteering brings exposure. So basically, when I started volunteering, I really didn't know that people get something out of volunteering. I didn't know. I was just passion. I was just going, I just kept going because of passion. When they ask me, Blessing, why are you doing this? I'll just say it's passion. I'm just passionate about teaching. I'm passionate about community work. So I didn't know about anything that there's going to be money out of it. No, 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 no. Or no, it was just in the process that I realized that, oh, if I volunteer for this, or I'll be able to get this knowledge. I'm meeting this person. I'm sharing my ideas. I'm getting to know more about this particular area. Let me share a story. This year, someone from Kenya reached out to me. Okay, a friend asked someone to reach out to me who is um who is actually working now. But then she was confused on where to start from. She just graduated, she studied English education. And she was just so confused. She didn't know what to do, whether to volunteer or what. So she saw what I am doing and then she asked for advice. How do I start? So I told her, volunteer. So she thought it was really absurd. Like, how does she volunteer? So I told her, just go and volunteer. She said she doesn't have any work experience and she's trying to apply for work. There's no work experience, and it's giving her troubles. I just told her, don't worry too much. Just go and find a community or even your environment. Just I know there are children in your environment who needs extra hand, who needs help in terms of learning, teaching. Just you can just do that. You can even do it in your church, just anywhere. There are lots of children who needs your service. So she just heeded to my advice. She started volunteering in a school without pay. She taught kids, and she told me she really enjoyed it so much. And then later she sent me a message to say thank you so much that I advised her to volunteer. Three months later, she got a job in California. Yes, to teach.
Wow.
So she left
Wow.
Kenya. Yes. So
Wow.
maybe when she started, she did not have the thought that she's going to get something that huge. So but volunteering got her there. So volunteering have lots of benefits, have lots and lots of benefits, and we cannot bypass it. So some young people reach out to me and then tell me I don't have job experience. Sometimes when I think I was working for an organization, we needed someone for the role, and this girl said she didn't have an experience. So I tell her, why don't you go and volunteer? So you stay in one place and tell yourself you don't have job experience. Well, you can volunteer. A lot of applications now, they permit you to include a volunteer role, a role you've served even as a volunteer. So about getting rich, well, saving, please don't laugh. Saving really, really helps. It really helps, really. So it gives you the experience you need. So it might not give you the money you need immediately, but it gives you the experience, and this experience over time will transform into money. So volunteering actually brings wealth in terms of people you get connected with and the knowledge. So I don't know if you've talked about volunteering enough. I don't know. I think I've talked about it a lot of times to my friends. Please and please, you can't bypass it. You can't jump over it. You really, really need to volunteer.
And I remember, thank you so much for that insight. It was incredibly important that I put volunteering and alongside the knowledge of getting rich quick, because I know sometimes some young people go to organizations to get experience. You don't have the experience. So these organizations take you in. They say, come, we have all the places you can get this experience. And you go there and the first thing you start talking about is how much they are going to pay you. You want to get rich, you want to get a job as fast as you can. So, and I've volunteered more than I don't know, more than 5 times this year alone. I could think of a couple of times I've volunteered. And like you said, volunteering brings the kind of exposure you may not have in your immediate community. If you volunteer to work with people who are um, outside your community or country, you are also volunteering your time in exchange for their expertise. So a Nigerian or someone from Ghana who is volunteering with somebody in the UK or somebody in the US or Canada or somebody in Germany, you are also exchanging the time you are volunteering with that person or that organization or that company or industry. You are exchanging your time with the knowledge and expertise you will be getting from that particular place. And I know this interview is not really about my experience, but sometimes it's good to put these whole things in perspective, really. Because to be really honest and serious with you, I'm just tired of seeing people come to me and they are like, they don't know how to get this experience. You have gone to school, and the only problem you think it's a problem for you is that you don't know how to get the experience. If you are a writer, for instance, you want to work with a company, you don't need to wait until you are hired and paid as a writer or as a journalist to work with that company. If you know somebody who is a journalist you admire and doing the work you admire, just send him or her a message and say, look, I love what you are doing. I don't want you to pay me, but I want you to give me access to what you know. Also send whatever it is. I know I'm quite good, not really like an expert, but I know I'm quite good at monitoring and evaluation because I volunteered at a time, aside the certifications and theoretical knowledge. I volunteered at a time to actually work with somebody on real-time projects that to really help me out, in monitoring and evaluation and in other facets of life I've been so good at. So I thought to re-emphasize the importance of that volunteering. And maybe I should ask you now. I love personal experiences, and thank you for telling us about that experience you have with someone from Kenya moving all the way from California, from your own personal experience, aside the fact that discovered um, you discovered that this was just your passion and cool. Do you know someone really close to you, someone in Akwa Ibom or someone in Uyo or someone really close to you in Nigeria that had a completely change of mindset, new knowledge gathered, and the person vocalized that, look, I'm so happy that I worked with Inspire, Innovative Child Network, I worked with you, Blessing Akpan at a time. So do you have those type of experiences? So that it's not like,
Yes, definitely, definitely. I have lots of them. I have lots of them from a lot of people who have volunteered with TIC Network. I've been hearing lots of good news, and it's really really exciting. It's really really exciting.
okay,
You know,
okay.
like there's this lady recently who got inspired to start kind of a platform for ladies. You know, a few weeks ago, she spoke with me about about what she wanted to do and asked me to share my story. And she also has been volunteering with us for a while, really, really active. So I feel that there's no way this lady will not go far because the commitment and the intentionality is just out of this world. So I have lots of them, and I'm really, really excited. It's not just I shared that one because that was the one that just came to mind first. But I have other ones. I really have other ones close to me.
Okay, so we have two more questions. Thank you. If
Okay.
imagine I'm your younger brother, huh? Like your very small brother that you used to beat, you used to send errand. So, what advice would you give me from your experience in getting jobs, in getting networking with people, and in connecting with people from your experience?
I would say you should first of all there should be the willingness. You know, there should be the willingness first of all, because when the willingness is there, you'll be able to go out of the way to do all it takes to get yourself out there. And then secondly, you have to choose a niche. You know, choose a niche. If you want to learn a skill, will choose a niche. My younger brother is actually my success story. You know, when he finished secondary school, he wanted to learn a skill, and I think at that time was when he was still struggling my laptop with me. So finally, after much struggles and talks, he decided to learn graphics design. And today, young man is doing well. He's doing jobs. He's one of the best graphic designer in Uyo. And that happened because number one, he had interest. Number two, he chose a niche, and number three, he pursued it passionately and consistently. So no matter how much I would be here to talk to you, to say a lot of things, to inspire you, say motivational quotes and all of that, if you don't have the intrinsic motivation yourself, my day it will not work. So you have to determine in yourself that you're going to pursue that, then choose a niche and then pursue it consistently. You may not have the required outcome immediately. I remember the friends I started out with where we were trying to learn skills and all of that. Most of them experienced so much troubles. They went through so much. They had laptop issues and all of that. But look at them today because they persisted. They are working for international organizations. They are having remote jobs. They are doing well. So it's just hard to do with consistency and staying true to your path. That's just it. No two ways about it. No motivational quotes. No long speeches. That's just it.
Okay. The willingness, you have to choose a niche. And lastly, you have to make sure you pursue it to the latter. If there is any question I've not asked you and you want to talk about it, this is the time to shoot. And most importantly, if there are questions people have been asking you, like popular questions from a really, really pretty lady like you, University of you, 300 level. I don't want to ask those questions, but you know yourself. So if there are those
Okay,
popular
so
questions, so
so people ask me a lot how I balance it all with school and work
okay.
and all of the things I do. So that's the most popular question I get. And I don't know how many times I have to answer this, but I know people watching this will basically have the same question as well. But the truth is, when you are passionate about something, you know what you want, you will do all it takes to pursue it. And then, firstly, my course of study aligns with what my future career and my ambition. I'm actually studying English education, so the whole process is just so exciting for me because everything I'm learning from school is applied in my work. And then my everything I learn outside my school is also applied in my school, in my academics. So that's I'm actually in Faculty of Education, and it's the whole process is exciting. So it's really not stressful for me because it is they both relate. And then I try as much as I can to make my schedules. I try as much as I can to stick to them, and also I try as much as I can to not go beyond my limits. And most of all, God has been my helper. Like, He's really, really helped me from when I started school to this point. There are sometimes I felt like I'm really, really overstretched, but the grace of God has really been the one holding me and lifting me and just showing me the way. And also the wisdom to know what to do at what time, to know what to let go at a particular time, and to know what to hold on to at a particular time. So I think that's it.
Thank you so much. And for everyone watching, and I must appreciate you, Blessing Akpan. There is always a question in interviews like this. I just feel like throwing the question now. Maybe you look at yourself right now and like 10 years time, where do you think of seeing yourself in 5, 10 years time? While you think about that, I want you to also tell us more about the work you've been doing in communities. I see you teaching your teachers about some teachers rather Google skills and code. I'm pretty sure those who are listening to this would love to know what you've been doing and what you're up to. And you didn't even tell us how excited you were to see that you were shortlisted to uh, be one of these. Are you this humble? You didn't even
Okay, let
tell
me
me.
actually talk about my work first. Let me talk about my work first. When we talk
Okay.
about that. Okay, so I started with being passionate about um, teaching children. And then I came to realize that, I can't always be the only one teaching. There are a lot of teachers which who really need a lot of exposure in terms of technological teaching, educational technology. So I decided that I have to get engaged in that. So I'm actually certified in Google for Education. I'm also Microsoft Innovative Educator and Adobe Creative Educator. So I took all these certifications last year because I wanted to just take it a step higher. And then I come to a resolution that I'm going to transfer my skills. So for a while now, I've been teaching teachers in rural communities to adapt to 21st century teaching. So basically, I've been teaching them how to use digital tools in their classrooms, creative tools, how to use Google Tools for Education, like the Jamboard, which is the kind of basically the whiteboard. Use the video conferencing, how to set questions online and then mark them, how to use digital tools to create lesson plans, create digital materials, etc. I believe things like that also help our children to learn skills like this because if teachers do not use them, students will also not be able to use them. So it's really, really been exciting. I mean, that's one thing I've done, I think, last year and this year that I've really felt that it has really created impact personally and in my community. Yeah. So do you
So,
have any other questions?
yes, how excited have you been?
I am excited. I am excited. I am excited. It's beautiful to realize that your work is being recognized not just locally but internationally. Students are going through a lot in the all over the country. Let's say in Nigeria to be specific, shouldering huge debt. I talk about economic inequality a lot because there are students that struggle to pay their school fees. They struggle a lot, and even in learning, and then it's amazing to see students beat through the odds even when they are going through all of this. And I'm actually one of those students, anyways. I'm actually one of those students. So I feel so happy. I feel so excited. Despite all of the difficulties, I still try to push through to make sure that I impact my community positively because I need to. Because I need to. The future of our children depends on us. And I'm really excited that my efforts and work has been recognized. It's an exciting
So,
thing for me.
thank you so much. I keep praying and wishing that may the best student win that prize. And I'm pretty sure that you're one of the really, really best students. And I think the first time I came across you online, I wasn't hiding my feelings at the time. I sent you a message telling you how I came across your name. We went for a meeting. I think I told you that. We went for a meeting somewhere, and the person was Etienne. I saying congratulations, dear blessing. Etienne, thank you. And so I went for that meeting. The managing director of the place was trying to talk about opportunities in Nigeria that are really existent. And to authenticate what he was saying, he said, look, no, no. There is somebody I know, somebody I came across. He went in, he called us into his office and then put a projector, just typed your name, Blessing Akpan. And there was our Facebook page. If you see how this man analyzed you that day, that was when I just realized that look, when people do something incredible, no matter where you are in the part of the world, your work will always speak for you. And I just had to find a way to connect. I discovered that you were even in Uyo at the time. So thank you so much for this opportunity. For those who are going to watch this to the end, I'm just going to go through the summary of what our talk today have been like. The first one was the fact that we should all know that Blessing is the curator of the Uyo Global Shapers community. I saw their brilliant video online. You could check them out. Amazing people doing incredible stuff in their local communities. And then she went ahead to talk about the fact that the international community is consistently looking for young people who are working on solving local problems in their communities. So you don't need to steal millions of money and push it into people's throat or do horrible things or be a fraudster or do things that your country is not going to be proud of you, your family or your immediate communities. You need to actually solve a local problem or be a part of the solution and then see how that goes. But sometimes you need to pay attention. The third point he mentioned was you need to pay attention to volunteering. Don't look for immediate results by doing crazy things you are not going to be proud of. And she says, and I quote, volunteering brings exposure. Her life has been an example of such exposures. She is too humble. She doesn't want to mention her contacts around the world, but we know that this fine lady you are seeing has traveled within and without, and it's because she started somewhere volunteering. And she said that she discovered she can't do this alone. So you see how she was able to create a connection by bringing a lot of other people into her community. So she went about teaching people, teaching teachers how to be a part and parcel of um, their students' life and to make teaching easier. So that was what she said. And we went on to talk about the fact if you are looking for a job or you are a young person listening to us out there, you must be able to learn how to connect with people. You must be able to learn how to be willing to work, be willing to work on yourself, be willing to work on the tasks given to you, and most importantly, to choose a niche and pursue it accordingly. Blessing used the younger brother as an example. And she said that the guy is one of the best, if not the best, graphic designer in Uyo. So locate her and the brother and give them your 300 million. So that is that. And finally, I want us to remember the crux of today's interview with Blessing, that we need to mold learning to fit children, not the other way round. Not the other way round. And these are all the opportunities from Blessing's personal experience that can, in fact, catapult us from where we are to where we ought to be. And it's my prayer that every young person watching us right now, we've been talking for 54, going to 55 minutes now. I don't want it to hit an hour because Blessing has given us a precious time despite the fact that she just fell ill. So we're so sorry and we hope you recover faster and faster and faster. So thank you so much for this time. And I hope that the impact of this session will be felt by everyone that will come across it. So final words, and so we'll pop champagne.
Okay, my final word is, as a young person, if you are making change, you are creating change in your community. The world is seeing, yeah, the community is seeing, and one day you will be rewarded for your efforts. And I would also advise that we have social media. What do you use your social media platform for? Yes, that will also determine how far your work would go, or how far your work can go. So you also have to be consistent on whatever you are doing. Even the Bible says, whatever your hand finds to do, work at it with all your heart. So whether you are volunteering, whether you are in a position where you are being paid, work hard, do it diligently, and very soon you will see the effort. You will see your effort yielding. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. And we hope to continue this conversation on our inbox. Thanks so much. So do have a
All right,
nice
thank you.
night. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Okoli. Uh, Abigail, thank you. Thank you for coming online, guys. Thank you so much.